Hey guys, so this is going to be the tuning changes coming for Devastation Evoker on March 25th. Obviously, it's nothing major. We're pretty much waiting for major or bigger changes, I guess you could say, on the 0.5 patch, so looking forward to that. One of the bugs that was pretty much plaguing Disintegrate specifically was Azure Celerity when it comes to the final tick not being benefiting from Titanograph iridescence. I actually reported this during PTR, however, I guess it's now being fixed, or not a lot of people have noticed it. It's not a really big damage decrease, it was pretty small, in fact. Usually, uh, if like most people are playing Flame Shaper right now in a Scale Commander, obviously it's a lot bigger, but it's as Flame Shaper, you really don't notice this kind of damage increase or decrease at all. Uh, Besides that, the four-piece for our last tier set was now gutted. I know, I don't really know how many people were still using it, but for those that were, it pretty much gutted. A lot of people like the playstyle of being able to spam, your essence abilities. I personally never liked that. Uh, it pretty much just gutted, and then we now have our new tier set buffed, which is pretty nice. So the effectiveness of Shadowing Star for our two-piece was increased to 100% instead of 50%. You have to keep in mind that this is the effectiveness on the Shadowing Star damage itself, not the amplification that it gives you, the 20%. So instead of doing 50% of its normal spell damage, it'll now just be as if you cast a Shadowing Star and it doing like the near million or million that it did beforehand. The chance for our two-piece now triggers 25% more frequently, which is nice. I believe it was around 2%. I could be wrong. I don't actually remember off the top of my head, but obviously it'll cost a little bit more now. Beforehand, slash I guess right now, it was you were able to put that jackpot on about well like 60-70% of all your empowered spells, probably around that much. Now it'll be probably closer to 80%, 85%, could be even more, which is obviously really nice. And then our four-piece was probably received the biggest change out of all of them, which is now every single time we cast an empowered spell, it'll increase its own damage by 25% instead of 20%, totaling out to 50%, so it's a 10% increase. Overall, I believe the napkin method I did earlier, this is around a 4% damage increase, could be 5%-ish. You'd probably have to check elsewhere. Obviously, all around nice. Devastation Evoker was actually doing really good damage, especially in raid. Flame Shaper specifically in high AoE dungeons, it was pretty much topping the meters for most dungeons. And obviously now you're just going to be doing more damage. Uh, One of the things that I still want to look forward to and want to see in the 0.5 patch is a slight redesign for Flame Shaper. So, one of the talents that we have every single time we cast Engulf, it'll quicken the pulse of our next essence spell. So, like, let's just use Disintegrate for prime example. It'll increase the cast time of it. I wish instead of it increasing the cast time, I wish it just straight up gave us haste. Even if it's a small amount of haste, it's haste nonetheless. One of the things that I really enjoyed at the start of the season so far is the fact that whenever you get PR'd or lusted, or whenever you are in a lust situation, your engulf is on a much lower cooldown. I got it down to like 12, sometimes even really, really close to 11 seconds, which is obviously really nice because you can just spam engulf. And you can pretty much have fire breath up every, well, like 10 seconds or so, sometimes even less if you're really quick. Especially in AoE, you can even get it down even further. But besides the point, I would love to see that kind of change, and I would also love to see more interactions with Consume Flame. When it comes to all the dotting that we do for Engulf, Consume Flame has absolutely no effect over it. It's pretty much like, I wish it would work more for AoE as well, where the dot would actually be additive to it as well, so like add effectiveness to it, making it do even more damage. Something like that at least, because outside of that, whenever you're pressing Engulf in AoE, you're only working off of Consume Flame, so you're just applying Fire Breath and immediately pressing it just to get that damage off. Which is not really good. It's not really meant for the whole Flame Shaper thing, because if we were trying to focus around that, we wouldn't have all these dots that we can apply, and you would be more willing to go the talent that gives 30% more damage over time for Fire Breath. Anyways, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I will be sure to answer any. Thank you for watching.